Uh-oh. Hey guys, I am 3+Kei here yet again with another guest. I am here to encourage you to pursue the smile by prioritizing the Lord, your physical health, and persistent education. We're back again with another episode of Entering the Chat. What do you think about Jesus? And I'm here with my friend who is graciously taking time out of her busy schedule. Her name is Jessica. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Jessica Donahue.
Yes. And Jessica, I've known for, I think, a little over a year now. We met in the capacities of social services. And I think we're both not doing what we were doing at the time. I now work with children with severe emotional disturbances. And what do you do?
I've been doing peer support for substance use and mental health for about 7 years now. Currently, I do peer support on the weekends on call for Beautiful Minds Recovery. I also started my own organization called Inside Out Peer Services, and we do justice impacted peer support for people that are re-entering into the community. And I'm also a full-time manager at Community Medical Services, and that is my primary job. We're an opiate treatment program, preventing overdoses.
So peer support, I've heard about it in the news. At one point, I had a position in addictions as peer support, and we'll get into that in a second. I was a very, very poor fit. Could you tell us what peer support is?
So peer support is someone with shared lived experience that has gone through the same and overcame the same obstacles as those still experiencing substance use disorder, and sharing our story and linking and assisting to resources that helped us along the way to help others overcome as well.
So you have experience with substance use. You obviously were able to recover.
Yeah.
You were able somehow to locate resources within that recovery, and you're using your experience to now pay it forward.
Yep.
Okay. And I will tell you, we were just going over a bit of scripture that was saying that the Lord gives us our trials and tribulations in life so that he can give us the comfort, and we can experience the comfort for the Lord, so that when we come across other people going through the same affliction, that we can give them the same comfort that the Lord gave us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it all stems from love, though. In my substance use history, I was in active use for 30 years, and I didn't even love myself. Yeah. And so it took one person or believer to walk alongside me to love me till I learned to love myself. And by that experience, that's my hope, is not to preach like a minister all the time, because nobody when I was out there could have hit me over the head with a Bible and convinced me. Okay. It was God himself. And so...
Can I stop you?
Yeah.
So I'm going to repeat what you just said, because that was very impactful. Nobody could, while I was in my addiction, nobody could have come and hit me over the head with a Bible. However, it was a believer that was the vessel of God's love that walked alongside you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And I didn't even know I could be loved that way. I come from a background where I didn't have, my dad experienced opiate addiction and passed away from an overdose when I was 19. But long story short, there was a lot of in-betweens, growing up homeless on the streets, no parents. So I never even knew what love was supposed to really look like. I sought it out in substances, in men and women in different areas, anything that made me feel good temporarily.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and then fast forward in my 30s, I end up incarcerated for my 38th arrest, and I
didn't know that.
Yeah. And so I sat in a holding cell because I wasn't allowed to go to population because I was so angry. I fought everybody.
Wow.
So they wouldn't even they wouldn't house anybody with me unless they knew that person got along with me. So they'd ask permission first. And so I was in a padded cell for most of my stay. It's been a long, like my last day was 3 years and most of it was in holding until I went to treatment. But I remember in that moment, I'm like, why do I keep ending up here? I wanted to blame everybody else but myself for my actions and the consequences for my actions. And so I continued to do that for a long time. And then something told me just to pray. And so God knew that that was a moment where he had me by myself. And if he showed me at that time, that was the only way I would believe him, right? Because I spent all these years not knowing who God was or that he was good because all these bad things happened to me. So if there's a good God, why would all these bad things happen to me, right? So it kept me stuck for the next 20 years of, I wasn't going to pursue Christ for any reason because he allowed everything to happen was my perspective, And so I prayed in that moment, and the next 6 months of that jail stay, I was at peace the entire jail stay. And some of the guards were even saying, you went from angry to hippie. What happened to you?
Right.
And I'm like, Jesus. I don't know. Because at the time, I really didn't know. Like, I knew I had prayed, but I wasn't completely convinced yet.
Right.
It took over that 6 month period of seeing, okay, why am nothing is getting different or going back to the way it was. I was now a new person. And so I prayed, and my grandma, who was a believer, that was the only time I ever heard about God was on Easter Sunday. Yeah. And when I was with my grandma. Yeah. And she had passed away and I didn't get to say bye to her. And so a glimpse of her image came down and then faded away right after I prayed. And it was like 5 o'clock right after dinner. So I wasn't like hallucinating or sleeping, which at first I thought I was. Yeah. And so I knew she was happy that I took the time to pray. Right. And so she was showing me something and saying bye to me, or I don't know. But then I was at peace the whole time. And when I got out of jail, after that jail stay, this is one of the many, mind you, but I was delivered of my opiate addiction, and I never had an obsession to use opiates again. And I couldn't believe it. It was like a miracle. And I'm like, okay, now I know there's a God.
Hold on. Okay, listen. So the Ray-Bans are going to come off
someone
now.
Like me.
So did you ask the Lord to deliver you from the opioid addiction, or did he deliver you from the opioid addiction to kind of prepare as if a preparation for the next things to come?
I think it was a preparation, but I also think it was a way of showing you, like, I'm the only one that can do this.
Right.
There's no human power that could have done it. And you're in this holding cell by yourself. And so now you get to see, I put you in a roadblock so I could save you.
That's like some Paul type stuff.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot more when it comes to Paul that I could share from my most previous jail stay, which was my last jail stay.
Yeah.
So my last 3 years that I was down, I was supposed to be going to treatment. I was in 4 different institutions. I went to a Department of Corrections holding facility, and I was there for 2 months. And generally that's the standard for someone that's going up to their bed date. You're just waiting for a bed. Okay. You're going upstairs. And so a girl that got there at the same time with me, they called her and called me to roll up our stuff. So I'm like, cool, we're going to treatment, all excited. She goes up to treatment. I walk out, and they found a new felony warrant for a crime I didn't even commit because someone stole my ID and stuff. So they wrote a bad check. But they ended up taking me to Yellowstone County Detention Center, where then I got transported back for 8 more months. And I kept crying in the cop car going, why, Lord? I'm doing everything you're asking me to do. Right. I'm studying your word. I'm asking for forgiveness. You told me that you were going to save me, and here I am going back to jail when I'm not even out yet. Right. All I wanted was to go to treatment, and he knew that. But so I go back to Missoula County. I finally make it back to Missoula from Yellowstone, and I didn't know it was going to take 8 months, but I finally figured out the charge, that they brought forth and stuff, and it was a new warrant for forgery. And so I'm sitting there, and the whole time I'm in jail, I'm leading Bible studies after I got over the little hiccup of, okay, God, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah,
So then I ended up, just all that stuck with me is I was big into Philippians 4. a lot throughout my stays in jail. It was what I had to hold on to.
Do you remember what Philippians 4 talked about?
I don't remember which one off the top of my head. There was one, I can do all things in Christ who strengthens me.
Yeah.
And then there was another one, I just can't remember right now, 4:6. And I'd have to pull up my Bible to get that.
Yeah. Philippians, there's a point where Paul is thanking, and this is what I love about it. There's a point where Paul is thanking the Philippians because they were helping to aid in his ministry.
Yeah.
They were like helping to finance his ministry, which he was initially reluctant to do because he didn't want anybody influencing his work.
Yeah.
And so instead of thanking the Philippians, he is talking to them, but thanking the Lord for their provision, thanking the Lord for provision through the Philippians. And the takeaway from that is that, we ask the Lord for things, and sometimes he presents us the solution through other people.
Yeah. And I think for me, what held on to me so firmly, though, is that Paul was also wrongfully accused.
Yeah.
And this was my circumstance during that moment. Even though all my charters, I will take full accountability. I did. And I did this one too because I was hanging around with the wrong people and let my stuff get stolen, right? I had a part in it. But the reality is I didn't commit the crime. Right?
Yeah.
And so that was a hard one for me to, but all I could think about is Paul, when he was wrongfully accused, that he kept preaching the gospel and was fine right where he was despite his circumstances, and just kept doing what God asked him to do.
Yeah. And
so I took that and held on to it tight and started doing that in jail. And that was my last jail stay. Yeah. And I think God wanted to know, like, okay, I showed you who I am, like an agreement, right? I showed you who I am. You know this, but are you going to hold steadfast to this? Right? What are you going to do now? Are you going to be faithful?
Yeah.
And so that's why I brought that up, is because I did that. And because I believe because I did that, God delivered me from ever having to live that way again, period.
Right.
It wasn't just the methadone addiction. That's just where it started.
Were you surprised? Like one day you had the addiction and then the next day you didn't. Were you surprised or just grateful for the circumstances?
I was surprised that there was that there was a God, and I felt it in my full heart, mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
And I didn't just have a peace. It was like I could tell Christ was guiding me in every step of how to behave, how to change everything.
Right. And
so I wrote on my cell wall one day, if I change the way I see things, the things I see will change. Because that was just one thing.
Say it again.
If I change the way I see things, the things I see will change.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's Philippians 4. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition and with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus.
Amen. Prayer and supplication.
Yeah. And that's where it started for me, was one simple prayer. And a lot of people are like, well, I didn't find God instantaneously. For me, I think my experience was different.
Yeah.
Like the flow of loving, joy, peace just washed over me right away. And it was crazy. Like I just was brand new, like that same day. I slept better. I woke up. I treated people differently. I wasn't fighting the guards and catching new charges. And I wasn't doing all the things I was doing. And I mean, there was a time I would flood my cell because they wouldn't give me toilet paper, or I'd shove my tray out the door so they would have to clean it up. And just really, even though I was there because I got myself there,
right,
the guards had nothing to do with it. But they wouldn't do what I wanted when I wanted.
My goodness. I didn't know this part about you. Yeah. I knew about the history with addictions, but I didn't know about the incarceration. I certainly didn't know you were anything but like you're such a pleasant person. And so I just want to say, when we first met, we were talking about something, and she was like a supervisor in her regard, and I was a manager at a different organization. So when we met under professional circumstances. So and we were trying to figure out a situation. And I think it was, we figured out we knew one person in common.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember who it was now.
Well, I'll tell you later, but if we were kind of like fast friends.
Yeah.
We were like super fast friends. And one thing I just like about you is you see there's like a toughness to you, but like a sweetheart factor too. And I really like people. I really like women like that, you know, maybe we're not rough and tumble, but like maybe you could a little bit, but you just want to hug people and love them
right where they are.
Love them well. Yeah. Right where they are. And another thing, you know, you've accepted me as I am, because I can be very loud and excited, you know what I mean? And I just always notice when people are like, that's just Lakeitha and how she kind of rolls. So you did the jail thing, you did the addiction thing, you were delivered from the addiction thing, you then get out of jail. Fast forward to now being involved in justice-related peer support and substance-related peer support. Can you talk about your businesses that you're involved in, what you do? Are you the only one? Do you have people working for you? A little bit about the people you serve.
So for Inside Out Peer Services, the justice impacted peer support, that's just me and a partner in Lodgegrass, and we have another guy on our board in Great Falls that covers that area for now. We're a new 501(c). We just started March, and so we're still trying to get funding so we can hire peers. Our goal is to bring it to the entire state of Montana because other states are doing it and it's evidence that it's working. But the corrections team out here doesn't like ex-felons coming back in the system.
Yeah.
So it's been a challenge, but I have faith in God that God opened this door, and he doesn't close the door that he opens.
Right.
He makes a way through.
Yeah.
And so I hold on to that hope, but right now I have 4 clients and I'm getting so busy because people are just learning about us. And they're like, I don't have sober living when I get out. I have no parents. And sometimes it just touches my heart such profoundly because I was that person.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what I was going to do. It was one person that walked alongside me that made all the difference and advocated with the courts and paid off my restitution. I just got done paying them off 2 weeks ago.
Hey, hello.
Yeah, but God is so good. And then Beautiful Minds Recovery, I serve people getting discharged from the ER. So we do opiate overdose prevention, and the hospital will reach out to us when someone's getting discharged so they can do a warm handoff so we can get them to their next step once they leave the hospital without going back to the substance that they're using.
And the third one, I'm
the manager at the methadone clinic, which I don't like it to be perceived that way. I just say that so people understand what we do. But we do more of an opiate treatment program. So I have my counselors doing groups now. We have clients that come back and we do barbecues with them. We want them to feel loved, and that just because the stigma in the community is they're replacing one drug for another. But in our thoughts is we're saving their life for today. We're not concerned on how long they stay in the program. It's how do we get them to a place where they're not going to be dead from or die by drug overdose tomorrow, type of thing. And so we kind of plant that seed of what treatment looks like, recovery, community, unity, all the things that you need, because the opposite of addiction is community. We need to be a part of a community or feel a part of something because we've been apart from everything most of our substance use.
What would be the community?
Well, the community would be other peers that also go to our program, so they're not judged by a community outside of that.
Yeah, because there's a stigma.
Yeah.
To
going to NA and AA is great, and I have actually been a part of AA for a long time, and I'm okay with saying that. But I do have a lot of clients that feel like they can't chair a meeting. They can't do what everybody else is doing because they're on something. But if you go take insulin because you're diabetic, that's saving your life, right? So what's the difference if somebody has to take a temporary medication that's an opiate blocker, or it's prescribed and it's under the supervision of a provider? Right? If I go break a leg, is AA going to kick me out because I have to take Vicodin temporarily? I'm taking it how I'm supposed to. I'm not abusing it.
Right.
You know, so that's where my thought process comes in. The only judge is God, and we're not, you know, we shouldn't be judging people for what they have to do if it's saving their life today.
So that's very convicting for me and the way that I think about addiction. And the Lord's been working on me lately, actually, with the way I perceive other people. Like, I have been able to do XYZ, so why haven't you been able to do XYZ? And I was a peer support for an addictions agency, and I did terribly, guys. I just didn't, because I the way I put it is like, we all did a little cocaine in our 20s. You know, and then we got older, you know, and so I that continued through my 30s.
Yeah.
And I was telling Jessica beforehand, I moved to a different state, and then it was basically over. And what I've learned is that, well, we'll take cocaine actually, of 100% of people who start cocaine, only 10% will get addicted. And what I didn't realize was that there is an addictive component in the brain, and I did not know this.
Yeah.
And I happened upon this information. I was like, oh, I wasn't an addict because I didn't have the thing that makes me addicted, and it wasn't of my doing either, being addicted or not addicted. Similar to the addict, they picked it up, sure, but there's like a glitch, maybe, or if you will, like a neurological glitch that bound them then to that substance, which would make it just increasingly like more difficult.
Well, addiction doesn't discriminate, and it's not a one size fits all. Right? Like, complete abstinence is what's best for me because I know myself, right? But for somebody else, they may not be an alcoholic. I have a sponsor that used to sponsor me that went through the whole 12 steps with me, who now has a drink once in a while. Yeah. But that wasn't her affliction. And I don't judge her that if she has the skills and the tools and knows, you know. Right. Because she's been in treatment and recovery for a long time. Yeah. And that's her prerogative. For me, I can't use one thing because one thing that leads to another. And when I get drunk, I want to get rid of that hangover, and then I want to use meth because I want to stay up. But then I want to come down, so then I want to use benzo so I can sleep. Oh wow, so it's like that poly disorder of cross substance use. Yeah, you know. And where does Christ fit into your sobriety? Christ today. Christ is everything in my sobriety. Like, I wouldn't even be sitting before any of you. I'd probably be dead if he wasn't a part of my life. But since he's came in my life, he's shown me miracle after miracle. Watching the people I serve also helps because God shows me over and over again on where that could be me. Yeah. If I took a step away from him or back to my old nature. But I mean, he helped me through college. I just got my correctional support degree. I got a bachelor's and didn't even know I was going to get a bachelor's. Yeah, hello. You know, I know. I'm starting on Tuesday for my mental health counseling. Okay. Going into grad school. I just bought a home. I work 3 jobs. Okay. Which is not ideal for recovery, as most of us know, but it's pretty laid back today. And I let him guide my steps. And every time I get discouraged, because we all do, there's no perfect Christian, there's no perfect, anything, perfect human. He reminds me in different little things, to take a step back or take care of myself. And I just listen. Because I know, like, when I did things my way, I ended up right where I was, Yeah. And if I don't know what to do, I pray about it. And if I don't hear an answer, sometimes I'll seek advice, but I'm real careful about getting human advice. Yeah. you know, or waiting for a response from him, because yeah, when I didn't have a father or parent, I was told one time, what is God to you? And I couldn't really answer that at the time. But now I know he's like my best friend. He's my partner,
Mm-hmm.
you know, my first love
Mm-hmm.
before my partner.
Mm-hmm.
He loves my kids more than I do. He's my
Mhm.
best friend.
Mhm.
All the things I was missing and chasing and all these other idols,
Yeah.
I now know that I don't need anything but him. And when I have him, everything else falls into place.
Hello.
And my life is where it is today because of that.
And
Because I
what?
hold on to that, and I know that
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt.
And what? So Jessica described this whole like chaotic backstory, and if you guys like look at where we are in an undisclosed location, but this is in the in Jessica's neighborhood. We're in Charlotte, Montana, and it is literally so well, besides that truck that I just passed by, it's so peaceful. There's like a bird chirping and flying overhead, and I just love this.
It's God's country.
Yeah, I love this for you, that you get to dwell in peace, you know. And she was saying that her bedroom overlooks the Mission Mountains, which you guys can look it up. On my way here, actually, is that what I was seeing? Those mountains?
So were you on the 93?
Yeah, these mountains right here.
The Mission Mountains are right behind us, but this is Nine Pipes Reservoir.
They look unreal. They look like I had to take my sunglasses off.
Yeah.
They look like they're like some kind of drawing or something. My point is, it's really beautiful out here, and I love this for my friend that has been through hell and back and is choosing, right? We could have fallen down on our face. We could have chosen.
We still can.
We still can, yeah.
Choice away.
We could have not answered the Lord's call, as many people do. We could have resisted. We could have kept it to ourselves, which I think is a normal response as well. But instead, what you did was started 2 nonprofits.
I started one. My friend started the other, and they hired me right when they started it.
Yeah. And so the nonprofit you started, again, that name,
Inside Out.
Inside Out, and you're needing funding.
Yeah. And that goal, that name came from when I was sitting in jail after I got saved. I said, if I ever started an organization, what would it be? And at that point, I didn't see like that I would ever do that.
Yeah.
But God knows, God always has a plan. But he told me, you got changed from the inside out. And so wanting me to share that with people that are inside institutions to change right where they're at.
Inside Out.
Yeah. And so even though Inside Out can look like justice impact coming to reentry, which it is, it kind of fits both.
Yeah.
For me on a personal level, because I believe they can change right where they're at, even if they have to sit for 8 more months or whatever their discharge date. Maybe I go to a hearing with them, they don't get their parole, but they can still, I can be that encouragement of you can change right where you're at. I was right where you were at when I did.
Right.
And this is how I did it. And when I got out, my life was turned around.
Right. Do you...
Because we think we got to wait till we're out in the community.
Right.
We can do it right where we're in any circumstance. Because we change in our hearts, our minds, our behaviors.
The Lord changes our hearts and our minds and our behaviors. Do you have a system for people to donate yet? Or what does that look like?
Folks can write a check to Inside Out. We do have a bank account too where we can take donations. We have a website that's being developed, and we also have a Facebook page if anyone wants to reach out to me.
Okay. And then all of this will be in the description as well. And I want to encourage you guys, ask questions to Jessica. If you guys would like to see a part 2, definitely let us know. I wouldn't mind. I passed a bison range on the way here.
So you came up 212.
Yeah.
93 to 212 and around.
Okay.
That's why you were in Maurice or whatever.
Yeah, I ended up at some random guy's house. Praise God. He was very kind.
People
to
out
me.
here are very kind in this area.
Is this the reservation? Or?
It is, but this area in particular is known for, like, when you go into town, like, everybody opens doors for you, says hi to you. It's a small little town.
Yeah.
So this area here until you get over to Pablo
Yeah. Yeah.
is the nicer area and the more nice scenery and all that stuff. You know?
Man, I would love to live out here. I'm looking around.
And
which house
this
is
God's
mine?
plan, not mine. And sometimes I'm like, what am I doing, Lord? I don't know why you did this for me.
That's right. And she has a story about how the Lord brought her. They weren't looking in this neighborhood at all. And here they camp. The Lord's really... Do you think before you were in that jail cell praying Philippians for that, were there indications that the Lord was working on you prior to that, or did it take that moment?
It took that moment. I wouldn't have seen it if it was right in front of me.
Yeah.
At the time, you know, because I grew up, I left home at 12 years old. I didn't have my parents. Ran the streets of LA my whole life. I'm from California originally. And in all honesty, like, I'm always that person that feels like I got to do everything myself because I didn't have any help.
Yeah.
And so, and it didn't help that I didn't believe in God because of all the bad things that have happened to me in my life that I blamed him for.
Yeah.
But he's not a God that creates things, humans do.
Yeah, and you know, say it twice. Yeah.
And so it took me years to really learn that.
Yeah.
I kind of lost my train of thought, but
no, it's okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate, I want to say, like, I rolled up here and she was like on the phone helping somebody in the ER, making things happen. And I'm just very grateful you took the time out to meet with me. She's super busy, guys. And thanks for telling your story. Thank you for telling us about Inside Out and Beautiful Minds and more about the opioid recovery clinic.
It's bad right now. It's a bad crisis.
It is a crisis.
It takes a village. Like, I speak on how busy I am and how overwhelmed it can be. I just say yes when God tells me to, and sometimes I have to say no depending on what I need for myself, so I can stay well, because I can't help nobody if I'm not helping myself.
Right.
But it takes an army, and we need more people to be involved. We need more people to reach out to see what they can do, or even help us get grants and funding so we can hire somebody.
Hello.
You know, because we just lost 3 people in 1 week from one family out here on the res because there's not enough services here. Now I kind of know why God put me here. I just don't know what I'm going to be doing here yet.
Yeah.
But I can't do it alone.
Grants, funding,
fundraisers, any ideas,
peer support. I actually, and I'm going to say this on camera because she's going to be someone I'll interview too. I have a friend named Tiffany that is in the addiction space right now. She works for an organization in Missoula.
That's probably my friend too. She's
looking to start a nonprofit, and I wanted to link you guys up because addictions isn't my thing, is kiddos. Yeah. But I wanted to link you guys up so you could talk and kind of do your thing.
I know Tiffany that works in recovery in Missoula.
Yeah, yeah. I think she's great. She's super hardworking. Yeah, so let's do that. As far as Inside Out, we need funding. We need bodies, we need fundraisers, grant writers, all that information and the request and how to donate to Inside Out will be in the description. And I've been doing this off camera because I keep forgetting to do it on camera, but I brought you a gift. It's in a pistol pouch, but it's not a pistol. I didn't have a thing to put it in. I hope you like it. Have you had those?
I have not.
Okay. So one thing, can I show? This is a guarana and it's a Brazilian soda. It is so delicious. Where
do you get them at?
I get mine from Amazon. I give them as gifts.
Do you want your pouch
Yes,
back?
I do want mine. Hey, baby! Put that right there.
I'm like gonna walk away with your pistol pouch.
Yes, no, we need the pistol pouch. But yeah, I like to give gifts to people, and I also want to show goodwill to all of the guests that are coming on here. I just appreciate it every time. So Jessica Colton inside out. Donation and further information will be in the description. Put your comments below if you have any questions for her. And if you would like to see a part 2, please say you want a part 2 so I can come back out here. That would be great. So I am 3PlusKei. I am here to encourage you to pursue the smile by prioritizing the Lord, your physical health, and persistent education. And with that, talk to you later.